Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and we have finally made it around, to Gragas. Yes, the jungle top lane flex pick of this particular champion has, well, really started to show up quite often. Across all regions, Korea, NA, EU West, maybe on the other minor servers as well, we're seeing the full tank Gruggy Ice on the top side, but in the jungle, Night Harvester, Zhonya's, and a Predator rune really makes him an absolute laner nightmare. Not only that, as you see from the runes on your screen now, the Cosmic Insight and Genius Hunter combination coupled with the cooldown reduction, just before we get into this kind of scrappy invade, all make that Predator active more frequent, and they make the Zhonya's active more frequent. Now, in terms of this particular game, it's really going to be about how you can be a laner nightmare and understand how to play games when things go well and badly, because as you can see here, we've got a nice little invade. Firstly, quickly to point out, yes, usually you would start your W because that makes you tanky, gives you that damage reduction, like alcohol gives you inhibition reduction, and then of course also gives you an extra punch when you finish channeling. However, he hasn't leveled it up yet because you never know when you're going to get invaded, and then the body slam here will actually do huge work. CC is most important in level 1 invades. Root hits and down goes Graves. Body slam is up again. We hit it onto the Samira. Heal is used and down she falls. So, on the face of it, most of you, especially in the League of Legends content community, will go, this is unrealistic. And this... At 15 minutes, the gold gap is equal. The Samira gets multiple shutdowns. At 12 minutes, there's a lot of throws. The enemy actually plays very well considering this level 1 invade, so don't always think a level 1 equals GG. Especially when no one's had a chance to go back. You know, like right now, his first clear is actually compromised because he doesn't have the W. Graves should know this. So Graves' perspective here is, well, I can go top side, probably vertical jungle this. Let's check their vision. They didn't leave any vision down, quite hilarious. Or as we see him on the red here, can look to 3 camp, bottom side, because summoner spells are burned, or he can flex to the top side. So a lot of summoner spells have been burned, except for the Samira's Flash and the support Silas's Exhaust. But you know, it's Korea, Master Tier. I'd seen Zac support. They love weird support picks. It's really, I enjoy scouting and watching it. For Gragas though, because his W wasn't first, slightly compromised, but it won't really impact him that much. The thing is about Gragas, and again, I'm going to reiterate it a lot, become a laner's nightmare. Become a nightmare for the enemy jungle, especially in this meta, when they want to farm and when they want to just take over through late game experience gains. You, on the other hand, you're a big fat man, you've got a body slam, you've got a slow in your Q that slows and does more damage the longer you let it place, and you've got a bottom lane with no flash on the Silas, who actually dies. So this gank is a good idea. Unfortunately, you don't get anything from it. However, we can simply just go back to base. It is a 2 camp. You are level 2. You're not level 3. Graves now has tempo over you, and this is where those level 1 invades can really hurt. Even if the blue team doesn't get kills, it still gives the Graves the opportunity to read and react based upon what the Gragas does. And so now you have to question, right, where is the Graves and what is he doing? As soon as you show bottom lane, as soon as you try and gank, if the enemy jungler tries to gank, you have to think, what can I take right now that stops their progress if they get kills? If they don't get kills, it hurts them even more. If they do get kills, at least you got something back. In this case, the Graves, we'll switch it on right now, went straight to his red. This is an aggressive move. If you have a scanner and you know there's a level 1 invade and there's no vision control, it's really easy to sort of try this. The Gragas, henceforth, goes back to base and says, you know what, I'm probably losing my top side. I better make sure I don't get fully denied. He does actually get decently denied, and what happens when you get denied as a jungler who likes to gank? You weren't going to win by farming anyway, right? So, take that control. Do your Raptors. I'm thinking he anticipates here that the red might be gone. I would have liked to maybe see a check with a ward. At least he has the boots as well. This is most important. You go back here for the boots because it allows you to get that ganking advantage over the Graves. Into the river we go. We have a crab up. At this point, he still doesn't know exactly where the Graves is, but he has level 3, which is crucial for the floating barrel of doom, which is the ability you want to max. At this point, you would anticipate if the Graves did all of this, right? he's definitely here. You know, he's definitely here. There was a stifled level 1, so you don't have the exact timers as you usually would, but he wants to make sure he gets this. The only downside here is a Twisted Fate is missing. If you know he went back to base or he died, no worries, go straight forward, you got Zed rotations. What happens is, we do the crab. Graves shows walking here with a red buff with no blue. You click on him and you will see in game the timer very fresh, which means he took yours, no concerns whatsoever. Immediately rotate to counter gank. We have the Predator active as well, if we need it. But the Camille died. But he scans his approach. They're gonna now turbo push. Gragas is not concerned that he lost his red. Gragas is not concerned that he might have lost something else. He knows that Camille's gonna have TP because it's only 3 minutes into the game, 3 minutes 39. And when she does TP, here we go. He has Predator active. Bait it out a little bit. Drink your juice. Next hit will do bonus stonks. Boom, there you go. Q barrel gets the kill. And save your body slam for when it's most necessary as a gap close to stop a flash or to keep someone alive. Perfect. Well played, drink your juice again for the heals, and now we can go and do the Krugs. However, I don't think you would necessarily know full on that the Graves showed top lane level 3 with 12 CS that he did your Krugs as well, but he did. So that was well done by the Graves, you deny this, and now he has complete prior on heading down to the bottom side to take this crab. Alright? Complete and total control, or, as in Korea, as we're seeing, the bottom lane actually does it as well. And this is quite good, I think. It also avoids putting junglers in traps, because the Gragas now will go about his business. The Graves can say, listen, I took my red, I lost the top crab, I got his Krugs in red, I'm simply going to go and handle my topside business, and maybe repeat gank topside. Alternatively, he could simply sequence down. The Gragas, on the other hand, now loses this, and the bottom lane gains their total vision control. They can also hit this, scan any vision, see if Gragas might be in the area, he shouldn't be at this point, and you can leave deep vision. So it's well played by the bottom lane, well played by the Graves, and he has been enabled. Now, Gragas, on the other hand, says, alright, I'll repeat gank top lane. Because Graves is most likely going to be preoccupied with his buff and camps. So Gragas can just gank. I lost my Krugs, I lost my red. What do you do in that case? You gank. Good. Well done. Well, who's pinging here? Someone's pinging something. I don't know if it's the Jax or the Graves. But there you go. Well played by the Gragas. He's absolutely juiced on beer. So while we're doing that on the top side from Gragas' perspective, you can see here that the deep vision was placed by the Silas, and the Twisted Fate is going to simply walk on down using that prior to try and gank on the bottom side. Remember, flashes are still down from level 1. Great timing. And this is the thing, you think level 1 is... Careful there, Samira. You think level 1 is some kind of free pass to win the game. Not in higher elos, or not if the players are good, because they know sums are down and they abuse it until they're up. They write it down, 5 minutes, off we go. Now, how many of you, be honest, would think, hey, you know, I'm going to do my wolves and my tier 2 grop, and then I'll look bottom lane. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. There's stuff happening. If you're farming right now, you're bad at jungling, alright? He has decided to go for the bottom lane swoop instead of the mid lane because here we do not have advantages and resources, so we don't win it. Here, though, we have a risky center death plus out of mana and low HP bottom lane. So off he goes with the Predator active. And we call that 2 ganks bottom lane. Both time, he get nothing. So I feel his pain right now, but you do get that gank, you do get that assist by proximity. You know, you forced it by being there. And that's something that's so important. You know, when we talked about ganking before, running across mid when you have prior, when you have advantages, doesn't matter that they know where you are, because your presence makes people behave differently and go where they might not have gone, which leads to kills even if you don't get assists. Now, we saw Twisted Fate go up there into a recall. Okay, good. But he's pinging it just in case, so it's good practice. Here, you should see there's a control ward in this bush. I hope he checks it. Bad practice. As soon as you come on down here, Challenger Jungle would have a very different perspective. As soon as you go on down for this gank, while you are looking to make this impact and frustrate laners just by showing up at this point, as soon as you see this is down, you know it's not the Graves because we saw the Graves floating from the blue side here, which means the blue team took this and had prior to do so. Yes, we're busy ganking and crying that we lost our stony Krugs. You have to anticipate that those are control ward placed, sorry, not control ward, at least a ward placed. In your elos, I wouldn't expect it to be a control ward, but you never know. So always check this bush, and if you have a scanner up, use it. Especially if you know that they've been in the area. I don't like not using it, and now you just give them information. And this is great for the Graves, because he can just freely counter jungle, knowing you're going Grom to Wolves, and he has time to do something. Twisted Fate's gonna hit 6, will have Exhaust and Flash. Currently, because he's using Spellbook, I sense a potential dive here. All because Gragas was seen. And now in this instance, you would have been seen anyway clearing the ward, right? It's about the next instance. Because that's not going to get killed by anyone. So let's see what happens here. Gragas carries on sequencing. Graves takes the Krugs, most likely. Alright, especially if they're up. Here I would hit this. In this cone. Okay, let's see what's up. Because you don't always need to use your scanner. I think hitting this, checking this bush, these are fundamentals that get missed sometimes, even in Mercetier. Graves should have prior on that gank. There you go. He showed very briefly. And now Gragas says, alright, let's go. Ooh! The flash body slam. We can watch that again. Little Gragas things. There's a few tricks, animation cancels, and stuff like that. Go and look at your favorite Gragas content creator, Gragas combos, to make sure you're getting that right. But here we go for the body slam. You see that? He body slams and just flashes to change direction and smack the dude in the face. It's Graves. We burn his flash in kind, which is absolutely fine. Now we have HP prio, so what you can do is if you have mid prio, good job Zed, solo kill, you can now go and invade and counter jungle and so on. Take Herald, whatever the map is giving you. Jax. So Jax hopped over there. Now Gragas is basically saying, okay, I saw you, we have a wave crashing, Camille has Ignite up, TP Ignite meta, let's go. But if Graves saw your behavior, if he sees you here, and the Jax leaves a ward, that means Graves is going to be right here to cancel his back and simply rotate up. You've got a Twisted Fate with his ult active who was just massacred by the Zed, who's recalling. You will be outnumbered and you will be turbo squashed. Let's press the magical all-seeing button. There you go. Twisted Fate's going to lane, Graves is in the area, and here we go. And the cask gets avoided, and he lives. And now all of a sudden you're saying, if you were saying something about the level 1 determining the game, we're only down 300 gold as a blue team. And the jungle now gets to push this, which means all is equalized. Okay, assessing the map. Blue buff is up, red buff is spawning, everything is down, Graves took this, thank you very much, and Gragas took the other 3. You can look to either gank bottom lane, you can look to gank, bottom lane, mid lane, you've got counter jungling pressure, you've got your blue up, you've got the dragon up, and you know he's topside, and he's going to be resetting with huge itemization spikes. Those are your choices. Gragas decides to regain control of his red in case the Graves might happen to go for this again. Unlikely though. A little bit greedy if he does. Gragas says, you know what? Screw Twisted Fate. I'm going to gank. Hello. Body slam to get over. Q to slow. Get your auto attack from your W suck. And then use the ult to displace for the Zed. Good idea. Straight into an objective. Now, at this point, you knowingly will give up the dragon. You knowingly understand that if Graves resets, goes to the bottom side, you will have that control. The Morgana used the downtime to go get deep vision. Thank you very much. Good supporting. Playing a lot of support myself as well. Don't like the jungle meta, really. Doesn't suit Ornn or Zyra whatsoever. But this gives us a Herald, so this is a good play. Ganks into Herald. Now we can basically regain control of our red side. Ignore the Krugs because, again, this is out of the way and it stops our timing to match the fact that the Graves is here. He should sequence down. You can always look to go mid lane again if this guy shoves up. He doesn't. Now, this is where things get interesting. I just should have actually paused and given my thoughts before he showed, because I was going to say, if he did Dragon, and he doesn't show any of the wards escaping, where'd he go? Like, he just got kills and reset top lane. He just did this and this into the Dragon. He's going to be counter-juggling you, especially your edge camps. So, I think here you should have looked maybe for a bit more of a communication and a spam ping that, listen, Graves is going to be diving you. We see him, he should leave the wolves and go immediately. Okay, he finishes the wolves, but I think he can because there you go, stopwatch coming through, nice and big. We've got the rotation by the Zed. Alright, good collapse. Let's see. We don't have ult up, it's 18 seconds. Predator's activated. Should give us something. There you go. Don't think Zed needed to ult, but we'll take it. Now from here, you have to watch the mid lane. Senna, great job, says, I will cover mid while Zed is bot lane. RNG Crab spawns in our favor. Out of the bases, out of our rotations, has always been the direct focus of, let me just use my Predator to gank this lane, because it will be up very quickly because of our rune set. And I just wanted to pause it here. You know he most likely did some camps on his way to do the dragon into the Gromp, into the dive, and of course he died. So at this point, there's no other objective on the map. I wouldn't go too deep looking for counter jungling. I think I'd hit this plant 100%. I want to see what's up. I want to see what camps are up, and walking by Raptors here just to get the timer is nice. You've got 4 minutes to use the Herald. I think he wants to create pressure with that usage. So if Twisted Fate's in the mid lane, you gank him, kill him, push it, you get it. Or you simply create the pressure knowing that Senna can now gap close. Although I think it's a little bit of an early usage. If it's running out on timer and you have to, you go for it, obviously. Which I think might have been the case, but not optimal usage. Great to get the gold though, especially if you're close to an item. Worth thinking about. If you need, you know, just 160 gold, 320 gold for an item, slapping it down to get some place that gives you that is great, because a jungle item spike completion affects the map, provided you are ganking and being a LANER nightmare. Right. Camille is in risky territory. I'd be concerned that Graves would gank this right now, purely because, obviously, we see the pings, but also just because she's pushing, and the last time the Graves was seen was bottom side doing dragons and everything like that. Aha! Scan. Good. Predator activated. Okay, this is very aggressive. Using the Predator to its fullest. Didn't get it, though. Hey, in low elo, those are good moves, because they won't run away. They'll fight you. And you just beat them. Raptors. Again, look at your lane states. You got 2 bottom side here. We can actually look to simply rotate sequence down, ignore your Krugs again. You can always affect top lane, but as I say a lot, bottom lane. Bottom lane and mid are just so strong for Dragon Soul and snowballing. Run Senna. We saw him. He got it. How much vision control did that ward give? Yeah, it was unnecessary. At level 3 we could have killed it and stopped it. And in which case Samira doesn't see you. In this case it doesn't matter because she's an ADC main. And there you go. Senna didn't get the assist. It's unfortunate. But ADC mains. Given the vision, they don't move anyway. You think it's only in platinum or diamond? Nope. Right, this is good. I like this. So this is the next counter move. We sequence down. We did an invade. We sequence down for a camps. Over pushing ADC. We don't stop to finish the Gromp. We immediately collapse. LANER nightmare, as I said. You see the Graves showing topside here. Expected that it would happen at some point. Now you can loop around and look to cheese. Alright? Using that loop method of jungling. Oh, this is a camp to take. Level, look, no Krugs. Graves is just taking his Krugs and not concerned himself with his own Krugs. And now the Gragas is counter jungling in reverse, or in response to the Graves. And he's getting basically no experience for it. He's just resetting it for the Graves, actually, but some experience is better than no experience, and anything that gives you an extra level, even if it's level 1, take it. Now you're level 9. Really useful. Now we wait for the Samira. Let's observe. Any moment now. Patience. Wave is crashing. 2 plates. Immortal Shield Bow. Samira. So when you think level 1 changes the nature of the game, we are exactly 500 gold behind as red team now. However, we still have advantage here. Oh, that's not good pathing. Good. Back away. We have the ult up in 3 seconds. Translate that bottom lane gank. You've got flow. You've got advantages in timing. The ult repositions. Silas takes Morgana's ult, but it's a Twisted Fate. You've got a center for sustain and heal. You have your W as well. A little low mana though. Jax is going to flash engage. Good roam by the Camille to match. Gets the E and does Cho'Gath things and he dies. Great turnaround there by the red team. They understood that Zed was down, but Samira was bottom lane. She had nothing up. We can use that advantage to get numbers on the mid side. Dragon is up. We should rotate to secure. 9 stacks, Lucidity Boots. It's good to rush if you're going to build Lucidity Boots anyway. That's unfortunate. But I don't know if I'm all about that steal. Anyway, as I was saying, if you're going to rush Lucidity Boots, or buy them at all, when you go from 0 to 20, it's like the equivalent of 18% CDR. There's diminishing returns with haste. But getting that 20 ability haste early, imagine like in season 10 or 9, you suddenly get told, listen, with this item, for, you know, like 900 gold, you get 18% CDR. Pretty happy with that. So for things like Gragas, it can be absolutely huge to use with your Predator rune set for your kit. Giving the blue to the Z there, very nice. So just think about your boot rush in terms of map mobility, getting onto the lanes, and also how it synergizes with your kit. Like, it can work for Rengar as well if you don't have enough gold for anything, you know? Like, Rangperic Scepter is meh. You can always go for ability haste on the Ionian boots quickly. Because then you can map rotate quicker as well. And having more uptime of spells, etc. There you go, very nice. We see some things happening. The objective on the map is Herald. We rotate. Oh, nice body slam ult. Hits the plant. You should have... Twisted Fate comes in. Immediately turn your focus to Peel. Alright, keep the center alive. Good stun with W. Jax tries to jump in with a counter-strike. They're kiting back. You see that? The whole team is kiting back. So good. No chasing down of the Graves. Even I was like, alright, here we go. Twisted Fate's in it. Turn, peel, disrupt. Keep your center alive. Yo, that ain't right. Don't do that, though. Okay, that's taking it too far. We could have just... Alright. Hopefully you see the difference between Challenger and Mercer tier, even in Korea. Now, I know most of you are going to make some comment about your elo being the same. And how did they get Mercer tier, but... It's relative. They're playing against other people that are of the same rank. See, this for me is silly. I don't like this at all. Everyone's respawned. They've got TP advantages. You're throwing... It's all dumb. We could have just done the bloody Rift Herald and been on our way. Such are the nature of throws. You still have a decent or small gold lead. Twisted Fate has used everything, I believe, or his flash is up. But I don't think you're going anywhere. There you go. Good job at... Recognition. Leave the situation. He's pushing. Dead. Earlier. Level 3. We killed the Jax and the Graves. I lost my stuff. He's pushing. Dead. Repeat ganks. LANER Nightmare. That's what we're going for. Now, it's 17 minutes. The gold lead is about 2k. Jax is pushing on the bottom side. Senna's gonna go defend. Dangerous. We need to make sure we secure the next dragon. And unfortunately don't have the Herald to use, but... Okay, Morgana. Is Jax... I think he's tilted, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Nice. Well played. So, usually at this point, I like to focus on their decisions and what they actually do versus the theoretical whiteboard because things never go as planned. So, no objective on the map, push up bottom wave. Here you could look to do blue side and shadow, but you know that there's 2 top. Camille dies from this. Zed is rotated up to kill the Twisted Fate. That should go... Careful. No Senna yet. And Silas. Gragas' body slam peel is so disgusting, but that's what I'm afraid of. You got the TP advantage, he respawns, you overstay, they collapse on you, you lose your leads. This happens way too often. Dragon is respawning, we need to take our Krugs, we need to take our Raptors, we need to reset, make sure we get that. Don't die here, we got a Dragon up. Did we lose tempo for this? No, we don't, because Camille goes deep and dies. Gragas goes deep and smashes. Peel. Kind of a fiesta, right? It's amazing how many of these turn into absolute stat checks and item checks, which is why maximizing your gold before this moment, maximizing anything you can do that helps you win these fights in terms of raw numbers is so big. Dragons, tower plates, gold, everything. Alright, so Camille dies for her sins, but that gives them a dragon, so that's good. What you want to do here now is make sure you're getting deep vision and pushing lanes. I don't know if we want to do our blue just yet. We see this, we see this. Vision control doesn't exist. He's kind of low on mana though. But at the same time, I feel like you have to assess your combos as a champion. Morgana does it. There you go. And they kill the Graves being cheeky. So as a jungler, a lot of times what will happen is you guys fall back to your camps and farm this because you want an item spike, reset, and your team are cleaning up, which is fine. But do keep an eye out if your support doesn't do this and you have enough mana for a combo, just go kill him. And then you can fall back as necessary because that's huge for pushing out the lanes and giving you prior on the Baron, which is what we want to do. Gragas here has 694, so he doesn't really have anything to buy. If you anticipate a fight in this situation, make sure you buy a pot. Not pot, a pot. What do they call it? Elixirs now. If you have 500 gold and you're anticipating like a game-ending fight, go buy an elixir, use it in the fight. It's absolutely huge. Free stats for a temporary boost, and you can win the game from it. Now we want to trap and bait. You can even start it in some cases. I like to play things that can duo Baron with an ADC, so like Zyra with my Leandries, or even a jungler, I just say let's go. Just two-man it, and if they show or rotate, we just collapse, so. Camille goes all in, Predator's activated, we're locking down the Samira. Gragas ult, Zed ult. She pops, fortunately. It's a lot committed just for the Samira, but that's champion. Pushing the wave. You could look to do it, but they don't have Twisted Fate ult, so that's something you have to time. Could look to bait it out. Senna will do a good job at it, but you don't quite have like a Vayne or a Kai'Sa, right? If you have a Kai'Sa, it's much easier. Jax has gone bottom lane and has no TP. Take their stuff. That's good. As soon as they do that, we can collapse here. Don't over chase now. Game's kind of stalled out a little bit. Ah! 3-man blue group. That's not good for you guys. So, in this case, if your whole team is here and you see this, just take the Baron. Perfect. No dragon up. You don't mind sacrificing a tower and a top laner for the Baron, especially if you're ahead in the game, even by a little bit, because then you can use that to create prior for the dragon, etc. But if you're all rotating down and you have HP advantages, let's look to make sure we grab some kills. Graves is dead. Smited. Don't think he needed to do that, but he'll have it up. He'll have it up again in 15 seconds. I don't think there's much left to discuss. This game has become a bit of a who rotates first and who has more numbers. I'll skip through as things happen. Okay, Graves is being caught out on the top side. They're still posturing for the Baron. Twisted Fate has come in as well. You get healed by the Senna. You get healed by your own W. Lockdown. Kill. Senna ulted. Don't know if she needed to snipe that. Alright. Now we can Baron. Now we can Dragon, and if the Zed rotates and steals the Dragon, as you're seeing, that's great. You can kill them and they should surrender. I don't anticipate them dragging this game. Yeah, so this is great by the Zed. He just leaves the Baron, goes on down, steals it. The rest of the team rotates, they get clean up. And that should do it. So, nothing else really super exciting. They're trying to surrender. Nothing else super exciting in the mid to late game. Just your standard macro stuff. It's all about that early game. If you lose camps, if you get a level 1 where you're compromised and you're clear, abuse the fact that some of the spells are down. Look to get your item spikes. Repeat gank. And Gragas' damage and Predator usage really is absolutely disgusting. Just in those team fights, make sure you know when you need to peel, when you need to engage. Don't overchase trying to kill someone, because you might just need to protect your ADC, and Gragas just does such a good job of that with the raw CC in his kit, as you see with the top lane Gragas in pro play. But there you have it. They're simply going to push and end this game. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Let me know how Gragas works for you in solo queue. Definitely great for Flex and Clash. Clash will be coming up in 11.3 as well. I think 11.4 too, but just keep an eye out on the client. Subscribe to this channel and the main channel if you do enjoy the content. And as always, I will see you all. And his beard's really nice, so, you know, when you guys have a beard like that,